Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Agent Attraction Monday, where we talk about specific tips on recruiting agents to EXP. Some of you came in today expecting a speaker. He's delayed at the moment. Don't know when he'll get here. But until then, the good news is I'm here to talk about agent attraction and systems on how to do it. I want to remind everybody that you're all part of the Freedom Team, and we have a weekly we have a weekly class every Monday. We call that attraction training. And it's where we bring in someone that's built a group of several hundred to several thousand, and they tell you specific techniques that they use in order to build the group that they have. I want to remind everybody that that's on the same link every week. I'm sorry, yeah, same link every week on Monday. On Tuesday, we have Get More Transactions. Wednesday is our collaboration. I was just talking to my new friend Lisa about, you know, about an office, and people sit there and say, "Well, what do you do when there's not an office?" The answer is we show up on Wednesday, and it sure feels like an office to me, except I didn't have to put on makeup, get my kids watched by a sitter, and drive to a physical place. I was able to walk into a bedroom that I use as a home office. And I want you to know that that's our Wednesday. And then we have Thursdays right here, Agent Attraction Q&A. I generally run that. I have a specific way in which I teach people how to recruit agents within a 2 or 3 year period. I'll show you how to make $250,000 in agent attraction and then have a 6-figure or multiple 6-figure passive income yearly if you just follow the things I teach you on Thursdays. In fact, I'll do that possibly today. If our speaker doesn't get here, we'll talk higher level about what I train people to do. And then on Friday, we push you into the big agent meeting. I want to remind everybody here, the Freedom Team does have a support website. It's freedomteamsupport.com. I'm on it right there on your screen. You can see there's lots of things here. One of them is the benefits. Okay. Second thing is my favorite. We created this 5 years ago. It's called the Brain Bucket. This is where you go to give yourself strength in the middle of all the craziness in the real world. These are incredible training video snippets, audio snippets. And you might think, what is I Dream to Dream by Susan Boyle doing? The answer is if you watch that and don't feel better about your life, then something's wrong. And so there's incredible stuff here called the Brain Bucket. If you do recruit somebody to your group here, your team here at EXP, I recommend you use white glove onboarding. $75. Vonda does an incredible job. If you want to self onboard them, right here is the way to do that. Attraction, here's scripts that we use on what we say to agents. These are proven scripts. They actually work. And then there's presentations. There's mine at the top, 15 minutes long. Tim's got one. Jeff's got one. There's the one Brent Gove uses, and there's a commercial one. And then we have a brand new link called Learn KV Core. This guy's doing an incredible job here at EXP. He's also training other brokerages that have KV Core. It's very inexpensive, and I would highly recommend it. It's the best training I know by someone that knows what they're doing with regard to it. So again, it's right there in our Freedom Team support page. And then lastly, if you want to know a little bit about us, there's the founders. There we are. Kathy's on here as well today, but there we are. So that's who we are and what we are. Again, apologize that for some reason Daniel is delayed, but I'm going to take it for a minute. I do recognize most, if not all of you. I met Lisa again for the first time. Victoria, we don't talk regularly, but Rick and Melvin and Tracy, Samantha and Yvette, I see on a regular basis on Thursdays at my agent attraction. And I do want to spend some time today talking about agent attraction because I am here and Daniel is not. Victoria, jump on real quick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning? I'm
doing.
traveling.
Now, where are you? Where are you as we speak?
I'm in New Mexico right now. My oldest daughter is expecting my 10th grandchild.
Oh
So,
gosh, congratulations.
so it's
Double
a waiting.
digits. Yeah. Well, very cool. And how long will you there until the baby's born? How long will you stay?
Well, I've been here since last Wednesday. She was supposed to have it Friday, and here
Okay.
we are Monday. So they're telling me maybe next week now. She'll be
Oh boy.
41 weeks next week. So this baby's being cooked a long time. I don't know why she's being stubborn. She must love her place where she's nice and comfy and cozy. I don't blame her.
Maybe she's read some of the news. I don't know what
I know.
story. But so let me do this. You all came here for the reason of agent attraction, and I want to talk about that for a minute. But one of the things I do want to recommend to each and every one of you is most people, when it comes to agent attraction, are working too hard because they're thinking too much. Agent attraction, I'm about to dispel all of the rumors in 5 minutes. Agent attraction is not something you have to learn. It's just something you have to do. Now, when I say that, do you have to learn a script? No. If you did learn a script, it would go better. But you know how to invite people to things. You've been doing it your whole life. You've invited people to the brokerage at some point in your life, whether you were getting paid on it or not, right? And so I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today. I'm launching a national day called Just Be Nice Day. And you don't have to teach people. She was like, oh, this is a person I'm doing this with. And her name's Sunny. And Sunny said, oh, we could get people to like pay for the person behind them. We could get people to go out of their way to. I said, hold on a second. You don't have to go out of your way to be nice. Just be nice. Agent attraction is the same thing. You don't have to go out of your way to attract agents. Just attract them. And here's how simple this is. When you want to think about agent attraction, first thing we want to do is understand how much time it takes. Because the number one excuse you're going to have is, I don't know when I'd fit it in. And so this is the way I want you to think about it. So the first thing I said, remember about agent attraction, is it doesn't take talent. It doesn't take learning anything. Okay. And when I say learning anything, I mean really to learn something. Look, when you went and sat for any of your licenses, whatever licenses you carry, you had to learn stuff, and most of it you don't need to use. In agent attraction, you don't have to learn anything. You just have to sort of understand what you're doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is beat the number one fear you have, and that's you don't have time. I guess the number one fear is you don't know what to do. I'll handle that in a minute. But when it comes to you don't have time, I want you to think about it this way. Everybody look at me for one moment. I know some of you are not on screen, but all of you should be. Here's what I'll tell you. There are 96 15-minute slots in a day. There's 96 of them, 24 hours times 15 minutes, right, each. There's 96 slots. If you take one of those slots, just one, that means you can do, if that fifth, you can do 95 slots of real estate. Victoria, you can do 95 slots of carrying the baby, right? Rick, you can do 95 slots on thinking about stuff, right? Boss moves Wiggins. I don't care what you want to do for 95 slots a day. One slot a day, 15 minutes, will cure your agent attraction woes. Just invest 15 minutes. Do it 6 days a week or 5 days a week. Well, and you're going to say, well, what do I do? So the first two things I've covered are real simple. Number one is agent attraction is not something you have to learn. It's just something you have to do. And number two is it only takes 15 minutes a day. You're going to say, well, wait, what about there's a presentation? Hell. If there's a presentation, you'll never have a problem finding a time. It's like if someone wants a listing presentation, you'll figure out how to do it. It's the getting someone to want to look that's 15 minutes long a day. So here's the third piece. What is it that we're going to do? We're going to do 4 steps. There's an acronym called LISA. L is list. We're going to make a list of names. We're going to do it like a professional, meaning we're going to sit down. We're going to take out an Excel spreadsheet, a Google sheet, or an actual, look at me, pad of paper, and we're going to write down on those sheets 100 names of agents. Why did I say 100? Because that'll last you a month doing it the way I talk about it. So you're going to make a list. You're going to do it one time and do it right. Who do I put on that list? Every agent that probably knows who you are. If you don't know, if you don't have 100 agents that know who you are, then let me know that in a minute. It'll tell you how to find them. But all we're going to handle is the month of April right now. Right, 108. L stands for list. I stands for invite. What do I say? And the answer is what I'm about to show you is better than what you would probably say on your own. Do, 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 do. Lisa, it sounds like this. I'm calling you up. Hey, Lisa, and now you know me. Remember? See this part right here? Someone who knows me. Lisa, hey, how you doing? Listen, hope things are going well. What's going on? You're going to say what to me?
Everything's great. I've been kind of busy, a little frustrated with some stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I maybe today's call will get you non-frustrated. I'm sorry to hear that, but we're a little bit ways into the year. Let me tell you, Lisa, why I called. As you know, I went to EXP about 7 years ago, and I'm not asking you to change brokerages, but I do hope you take what I'm about to say as a compliment. You probably know about 80,000 agents have come to EXP in the last 5 years, and lately some really top producers and massive teams. And so here's why I'm calling. I'm curious to know if you'd be curious to want to know why 80,000 agents would go anywhere, especially if it was a private conversation, Lisa, no pressure, and it would take a half hour or less. Would you be open to seeing why we've attracted so many agents, and more importantly, what might be in it for you?
I had no idea that many people had gone there.
Well, now you know they haven't gone there. You're
Wow.
here, so now they've come here. You're now here. They didn't go there. They came here. I'm playing with you. But you understand? Yes, that's the number. But I want you to understand something about that contact, or we call it.
Oh, I was still role playing, by the way.
Daniel, you're here.
How are you?
I'm good, dude. How you doing?
Good. Sorry about the confusion.
Sorry.
Yes, we're main thing is we're right on the right time zone.
Yeah, well, we are now. Let me finish two thoughts and we'll bring you in real quick.
Yeah.
So the invite is designed right there, freedomteamsupport.com/invite scripts. It's designed for people that are open-minded to say yes and for closed-minded to say no, so you don't become a salesperson. It's like asking somebody, hey, over the next year, is there any chance you think you might be looking to sell a home or buy a home? Now you're like, oh, I don't want to ask them that. Why not? I want to find out if they are. Now there might be other ways to ask that question, but if you ask that question of everybody you came across, you'd have plenty of sales. It doesn't take talent to ask that question. Doesn't take talent. So L is list, I is invite, S is show. What do we show? I showed you the presentations that are available to you. There might be others. And then A is answer questions. That's the acronym LISA, Lisa. List, invite, show, answer. Last thing I tell you, and we'll talk about this on Thursday if you want to come. I'll talk about it on Thursday, is I use index cards. These are magical. Everybody knows what they are. Mine have lines on the front side, no lines on the back. Every day I write 5 names. Actually, the night before I write 5 names and numbers on this card. And the next day, the only thing I do for agent attraction, let me say it again. The only thing is I call those 5 names before lunch. I ask them the invite. And at the end of that, I go like this. And I throw it away. And if I get voicemails, I don't care. I'm done with agent attraction for the day. I've made my 5 calls. If I do that every day for a year, I've made, watch this, 1,300 phone calls. And you will have plenty of people.
Quick question. What do you do if you get voicemail? What do you say?
I leave a voicemail if it's someone that knows me. And the only important thing on leaving a voicemail, the only important thing is to say the word 5 minutes 3 times. I don't care how you say it. Here's how I say it. Hey, Daniel, it's Eric. Listen, I want to bend your ear. It'd probably take 5 minutes about real estate. So call me back when you're driving down the street. You have about 5 minutes. And let's talk real quick. Today would be great. My number is boom, 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 boom. Call me when you have 5 minutes. I don't leave messages for people I don't know. Doesn't mean you shouldn't. Again, you want to talk more about this on Thursday. I'll leave you with this thought. every Freedom Team member, I've created a chart called the Freedom Chart. It'll show you how to get to $250,000 in rev share in your first 3 years by only sponsoring 5 agents. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Now I get to introduce a buddy of mine. Now, he doesn't even remember the first time I had a good conversation with him. It was at his, how long you been here, Daniel?
4 years and 4 months.
It was at your first build.
Yes.
I came walking in. I believe it was the one in Dallas.
Yes.
I had an agent that just switched over from residential back to commercial because he was commercial before. And he was at the event. And I said to somebody, who's the #1 mover and shaker in Texas on commercial? And they pointed at this little guy. Now, little didn't mean small. It meant little guy because in this big room, there was this little guy in one area. And I said, who is he? And he said, he's the next big deal. And so what I get to do right now is reverse this, because he did work with my agent. It was wonderful. He's an incredible commercial agent, meaning you are, Daniel. But let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Ang. He knew real estate before any of us even thought about real estate. He got his license right after high school in Plano, Texas, before he ever went to Switzerland. By the way, I was in Switzerland about 2 years ago, got married in Switzerland. It was wonderful. And where's the college in Switzerland? Where is that?
In Lugano, so in the Italian part of Switzerland.
The Italian side, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so this guy's not only a beast, but he's built a reputation within EXP of collaboration like nobody's business, right? He's got a We Partner network. He's going to talk about that briefly for a minute. He's got several hundred people in his rev share group, which means he's making enough money to pay his bills. Not necessarily enough to fly a jet yet, but he's working towards that. But he and his partner have done an amazing job at just making people feel good about being here at EXP. And one of the things he's going to talk about today is how he does that. Daniel, generally I run this by leaving it to you, we are recorded, leaving it to you, letting you do whatever you want. If you slow down, I will throw something at you. If you don't, fine. If you want to run for about 20, 25 minutes, that'd be great. And then we'll open it up for questions. But without any further ado, someone who's incredibly credible at doing anything he talks about, please welcome Daniel Lang. Daniel, welcome.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, people on the Zoom call, on the recording, on live, wherever you're at, on YouTube. You know, the main thing is I appreciate the collaboration, getting on this call to share. You know, at that build conference really changed my perspective. You know, I was a franchise owner. I had two companies. I was running a residential franchise with my other partners, and I had another commercial franchise with my business partner, Calvin. And, you know, when we came over this platform, we realized, you know, we were starting the new commercial division within the EXP ecosystem as a separate company. So that was another ordeal trying to explain that. But it was actually at the build conference and realizing, man, there's so much we can do here, right? The franchise model kept me in a box, kept me in my territory. Then as a business owner, we're all in the same level. I mean, when it doesn't matter where I came from, what my background is, you have the same opportunity. And when I saw these other leaders grow their organization, have their little pack and things like that. So Calvin and I created our network called We Partners Network. So that's kind of the glue. Everyone's part of that, just like you guys are part of Freedom Team, right? And then I saw the Wolf Pack out there. Then I'm like, well, maybe I can create our leadership group called the Panda Pack, because people always call me Panda. So my leadership group, the ones that want to grow, that plug in, we're part of the Panda Pack, right? And that really resonated. And you can do the same thing. You're either part of Freedom Team as an organization. You can create your own, you know, and other people in our group have started creating their own, which is great. That's duplication, right? When you find other leaders creating duplication, that's passive income. But if you don't have that, then create your own, build it, and people join people. Elizabeth Riley always says that, people join people. And we started back with 3 people when we came here. We're about 270 plus right now in the organization. A mixture of commercial, residential on the realty side, and resi-mercial. Throughout the 4 years before all this co-sponsoring stuff, I was getting on calls all the time. and just sharing what EXP Commercial is doing, and just building relationships all around the country. And this company has always been agile, always updating, right? If we're RevShare 2.0, I don't call it 2.0 because it's actually 2.5 now. I mean, they've updated some stuff already just with that. And with this co-sponsorship, I really believe it's 3.0. So when I share the model, and you have to make it simple. If you have a vision to grow your organization, don't make it complicated. You have to be excited, right? People feed off that energy. Second, you have to have a goal, right? What is that goal going to be? Is it 100 people? Is it going to be 10,000 people? So in our We Partners, in our mission and vision of our in our network, we have 10,000 partners by 2030. So I sent a timeline to have 10,000 global partners. And we share that every Monday in our team. We put that in there. I said, people need to print that out because it's not me, it's our organization. And what's our mission? Our mission is to create wealth, right? Be a generational wealth, build a legacy, and impact more people, right? So these are things that we do together as an organization, and that's our mission and vision. And then the third step is you have to have a massive list. If you're going to be recruiting or agent attraction, whatever you want to call it, right? Connecting with more people, you got to have a massive list. So I tell every partner that seriously, they say, I do want to grow. I said, well, show me 100 names, not just random names that you just pick off of people that you actually sit down and write down, like, okay, I know this person, or I closed the deal with this person. You guys are closing deals. You have agents. Rob Flick is one of our leader partners, and he goes, is it easier to find a buyer, seller, or real estate agent? And that's how he grew. Because it's easier to find a realtor. There's 1.8, whatever the stats are in NAR. Our information is public. Your MLS has the information of a cell phone and all that. So it's easier to find a realtor, so there's no excuse. So before you even get excited and go after and setting up meetings, you got to have your list, be excited, set your goal. If your goal is to be at 100, then be at 100. Is your goal to be at 1,000? Be at 1,000. The math is there. You can calculate what that would look like, okay? But don't chase the money. Chase after people to impact people. Because if you're chasing after the money, if you're looking at people as money, is a dollar sign, you're not going to grow. It's not going to be genuine, and people are going to see right through that. We're in sales, right? It's either closed or be closed, right? So the goal is to build a rapport, build relationships, understand that our model, our platform actually helps agents. If you're going after Keller Williams agents, Coldwell Banker agents, Century 21 agents, these are all franchises. Agents get to own part of this company. If they're a top producer, they're an icon agent. You're actually saving them money. All right. But don't get excited to show them all these numbers. Just build a relationship beforehand. And then when they're open-minded, when you feel there's a chance, then you start getting a three-way call with Eric, getting a three-way call with your leader, right? Your upline leaders, they're there to help. If you want me to get on a call, I'll get on a call. I'll explain the model, right? That's why we're here. There's a lot of leaders like myself that are willing to get on three-way calls. I get on three-way calls with other leaders because I just know that they just do a better job than I do. So, and then invite them, right? There's plenty of events going on. Like your local brokers in your state hopefully are doing in-person meetings. You can find other leaders in your market that are doing in-person meetings. Guess what? If there isn't an event, great. Get some leaders in your group to create an event, happy hour, whatever it is, and just invite. And that's how you're going to start building. So what we do in Dallas, in our market, and if you have people in Dallas, welcome to invite them. I do have a brick and mortar. So I do have I built a patio last year. So I do barbecue, I cook. I really start enjoying sous vide, where I'm actually putting the ribeye in the water tank and just cooking it that way. And I just torch it for fun. And it works. People come. And we've gained so much people just by not even explaining the model. They're like, hey, I love your group. They want to be a part of it. That's how they come in. So and then from there you do the FU. The fifth one is follow up. Fourth is inviting them to an event. And fifth is FU, follow up. You have to follow up. I've lost at least 100 something people to EXP, other leaders, because our team members that invited me to get on a call, they didn't follow up. They didn't start continue to invite them. And they're like, well, you know, they're never going to come. They're just, guess what? We see a big announcement, they came. And it's because people don't follow up. And I'm the same way. If I don't follow up, you know, and following up doesn't mean like pushing them. Just like, hey, how's it going? We got an event coming on. We have EXPCon. We got Build in Cabo. We got so many things going on. Would you like to connect and come to this event? Tom Ferry is going to be in Dallas. Hey, I got a discounted ticket at $299. Would you want to buy a ticket for me because I got a package from our leader? You know, things like that. You know, and then you're not giving it away. You're just like, hey, we got a discounted ticket. Do you want to purchase it with our group because we got a discount? It doesn't cost you anything, right? There's different ways to do it. And I'm going to share my screen if I have access.
You will in a second. Hold on. You do now.
All right. So let me share my screen. All right. I'm going to present. So this is just a chart I made on Canva. And this is what I present. And the thing is about RevShare, you need to understand how it works. If you don't know how to do the math, because the math is important, but you have to understand it so you understand, you know, when you are explaining this. So, you know, we all know that 80,000 GCI times 20% equals 16,000. That's our cap in the company, okay? The 2.5%, 2.5 rev share is because if you cap, you unlock 4 and 5. If you're an icon, you unlock 7 levels, all right, for 12 months or 13 months, okay? So what does the company do with the 16,000? Half, which is 50%, equals $8,000 if that person caps it. It's based on just everyone capping, okay? And I'm not even talking about the bonus. So this yellow part, bonus, did you know that in your first level, if you recruit someone today and they cap within that 12 months, the bonus is total of $4,000, okay? This is important. This is serious money because if you had 10 people that joined you this year and within that 12 months they cap, that's $40,000, okay? So I don't even talk about the bonus yet. I just talk about like, hey, what does that mean on tier 1? So if you brought in someone in New York, I'm in Dallas, okay, and I know Sally in New York, well, my tier 1 is equal to 17.5%. That's the math. What does that look like? 8,000 if she caps times 17.5 equals $1,400. That's straight math. That doesn't change, okay? Second, if Sally brings on Tom's in Florida, tier 2 equals 20%. 8,000 times 20% equals 1,600. Same thing, level 3, tier 3, 12.5%. This is a math problem, okay? So then I always go back with the 12, right? You're recruiting 12 people, you know? And the reason why I choose 12 is almost like Jesus had 12 disciples, right? And they grew from there. So we use this math of like 12 people because out of that 12, there's going to be 4 crazy people. These 4 are really going to build your life. The other 4 that come in, they're good in production. And the other 4, like, I don't know why I'm in real estate, but they're there, okay? And they might recruit somebody, but it's okay. There's 12 people. So just imagine that. And the reason why I say 12, because if these 12 were capping, guess what? That's 16,800 every year. That covers your costs in the company. Your cap is at 16,000. This covers your costs. So now the math is, if these 12 were building 10 people each, that could be a potential 120 agents. And if they're selling 4 to 6 homes, depending on your marketplace and your price point, that's $192,000 right here on tier 2. Okay. And then from there, if everyone just brought in one friend, that's 120 agents. I'm just sharing tiers 1, 2, and 3 because it's unlocked already. You can do this. Okay. So with $328,000 of income potential, right? If they cap, I use this as an investment scenario. So I do real estate investment myself. I own shopping centers. And right now we're looking at 6% cap rate. That's the kind of rate of return if we paid cash. So if I had to get 328,800 at a 6% cap rate, I would have to come up with $5.48 million in cash to buy a shopping center to give me this return. For $85 a month, or $50 on referral division, or $500 on the EXP commercial side, whichever you're at, there's three divisions in our company that you can join EXP. You have a whole business. You can build this. So could I say, if I'm netting 328,000, could I sell potentially? You built equity here. And that's what you have to see. You have to know that by building an organization, you have the legacy that is willable. And the thing is, some people, like, if you don't know, if you're on this call, yes, our position is willable to our family. There is a form that you have to fill. Make sure you fill that out. If something happens to me tomorrow, right? This position in the EXP will be willed to my wife, right? Yes, she has to get her real estate license within 12 months of passing. I believe that's the policy. Then she gets to inherit not just the rev share, but the people. So why I share this is because it's because of the people. You're building a network of people. Guess what? My children will inherit the assets, my real estate assets in the future. But if they don't have the right network, the right leadership, they're just going to sell everything. We see that all the time. You know, we see estate sales and all that, and just grandkids just selling everything because they want the cash, right? But then if you have the right leadership and right network of people, that's my why. My why is building a network of people to pass down to my children, pass down to my grandchildren, so they have a network of people. So not just the uncles and aunties that I'm building, is our kids get to connect with each other. Our grandkids get to connect with each other. Not just my network that we're building, the Freedom Team too, right? Imagine all of them getting together, masterminding how to invest in properties together, how to do better, how to help each other out. That is what we can build here. And we can't build that at a franchise. Even though that franchise, you can connect with other people in the company, but there's no financial tie, and it's hard. Not everyone's that nice, right? But it's just the reality. But when there's a financial tie, there's a connection. There's a glue. And Glenn Sanford, when he came up with this model, is brilliant. And I really, when I had my first team member join from Peru, my tier 4 came on board. I didn't have to explain the model. I didn't even know that we were ready to onboard people. And I saw someone pop up on my app, like, Peru, what is this? So immediately I texted Glenn Sanford on Workplace. I said, Glenn, I appreciate you very much what you created. I'm really truly global because I have 3 people that just joined through Peru. And I didn't have to explain the model, and it's my tier 4, tier 5 now. And that's the power you guys have to have. And then, I'm gonna dabble into a little bit about the co-sponsoring. So let me pull that up real quick. You see my screen. This. Do you see my co-sponsoring chart?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next page. Sorry. I had another show you guys. I guess I don't have it. It's okay. I'm going to show you this. Well, so this is co-sponsoring. So meaning that if you're the primary sponsor and you're trying to recruit John, so John's trying to come in and spot. All right. So you're the primary and you got John coming in, but John might be in a different market. So I'm in Dallas and I got John in North Carolina. And, I know Tina Call. Tina Call can be a co-sponsor here. So basically, Tina and I are different lines, different organizations, but I can ask Tina to help me co-sponsor John because John is needing that culture, needing that guidance. And I couldn't offer that besides Zoom calls and things like that. I couldn't offer the culture locally. So Tina can co-sponsor coming in. John becomes my tier 2. And John can bring on Sally. That becomes my tier 3. So basically, Tina would get John as her tier 1 and the rest of the organization. So it creates a synergy together with these co-sponsors. So put it in simple terms. you see that the Avengers, right, Marvel movie, you have this person trying to collect all these Avenger superheroes to come together. That is exactly what we have now. So now I can collect all these superheroes, all these leaders for support for different people. And that is what co-sponsoring does. I'm working with Tina Cole already. I'm working with Paul Frank, another commercial guy in California, to support one of our members. I'm working with a Hispanic group, Orlando Montiel. He has a big Hispanic group in Miami, about 2,000 agents, has a coaching platform. I got a Hispanic agent in Dallas that I would love. I mean, I can support her myself locally, but I feel like there's something missing. So I directly contacted Orlando last week. We had a Zoom call, and he's happy to co-sponsor. Of course, he's happy because I'm basically recruiting for him, right? If you look at it that's what I'm recruiting for him in Dallas, and I get to grow his organization. But it's the synergy that we get to create. It's a game changer. If you're not excited about what co-sponsoring does to you, it is a true game changer. And for commercial, I know people have. I have a call. I actually have a meeting with Cliff Freeman. Cliff Freeman has 13,000 people in his organization. I'm having a lunch with him on Tuesday just to talk about like how can we create synergies together, right? And if anyone has more questions about it, please talk to your leader. If you want to schedule a Zoom call with me to go over that chart that I created, or if you want that copy on Canva, we can send it to you, because it's here to be shared, right? Because we're not going to be like just Team Freedom. We're not just going to be We Partners, just a Panda Pack. It's like my T-shirt next year or this year for EXPCon is going to have all the different leaders. It's like sponsored by, with everyone, and that's the power of this co-sponsoring. So, Eric, anything else you want me to share?
No, dude, you're doing a great job. I appreciate you buzzing around. It's a good idea to open it up to questions. I've got a couple of announcements I'll make at the end, so people stick around for a while. Daniel, you've done a great job. Not only that, creating synergy with leaders. Why don't you spend a minute talking about how important it is for our agents to get on some of these big agent calls, just to get to know or go to the EXP Life site and see the other leaders in the business. What have they meant to you?
Every time we see a big leader that comes on, go on those social medias like, hey, congratulations, welcome to the family. We own this company together. You're not just an agent anymore. Like you have to understand that when you join this company, partner up with this company, leveraging the platform, you become a owner. And whether it's small or big, we're still an owner. And you have to you shift your mindset and just go reach out, because there's an opportunity by just being that connection, going on Workplace. And I know that Workplace will be shifting to another platform I think by the summer. Learn the new tools, learn how to make more connections. Eric, you guys reached out to me to get on the Zoom call. You can do the same thing. You can get a leader like, hey, can I schedule a time for interviewing you? This is the idea of doing that, and don't be shy. We're in real estate. We're in sales. If you're shy, you shouldn't be in sales. All right. But at the same time, we all have different personality, right? The DISC profile. Understand your DISC profile. Understanding that, so you can be a better leader. We're all leaders here. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're got into real estate, you're an entrepreneur. Don't tell yourself any different, and don't compare yourself to other people. You get to leverage other people now in this platform. So,
no, perfect idea. Anybody have a quick question for anything that Daniel's covered so far? If so, now's a good time to ask. If not, I've got another question for him. Anybody?
Don't be shy.
Well, you told them they're not supposed to be, but now that makes them even more so. Let's talk quickly.
I do have it.
Go ahead,
Eric,
Melvin.
can you hear me?
Ask away.
Thank you, Daniel, for sharing. For as the what was the term? The working together with the agent.
Co-sponsoring.
Co-sponsoring. Now that's in play right now.
Yes, so that will start May 1st.
May 1st.
So you can so if you have somebody coming in, they'll go back, I believe 60 days more or less, So if someone joins today, you can apply the co-sponsoring in May when it turns on.
Okay. All right. Thank
So
you.
so just say March 1st, just make simplicity. March 1st to May 1st. If somebody joining your organization, they can apply a co-sponsor in. What happens to you if you bring on somebody? It shifts them down to tier 2 versus tier 1. So just make sure that you
Right.
understand what happens on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said it was started in April, and I didn't think that was the case. That's what I was just verifying.
It announced in April, but it won't be turned on until May.
Okay. Thank you.
If you have a big leader or something, you might be able to beta test it. Those are things that could happen, but that's between you and corporate and the leader and your sponsor to figure that out.
Yep. Thank you for that one. Fonda, you've got a question. Nice having you here. Go ahead, Fonda.
Hey, yes. Hey, thank you so much for sharing. I was wondering, did you make this image that you're sharing with us now about co-sponsorship, or is this something that I can find in EXP?
This is a chart that I created. They do
I
have
love
a
it.
EXP. They do have an EXP toolkit where they do have some graphs, but for me it wasn't very clear. So I actually created this, and I created one for myself with my upline leader. So I actually have photos and names of what we're trying to do. I can actually show you an example. Give me 1 second.
And by the way, we
Thank
will
you.
have this posted in the Freedom Team workplace feed. So if you'll go to workplace and Freedom Team, it'll be here attached to the audio video that we always put up on a weekly basis. So that'll be up there tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so like this example, I have Maritza. I've been working on Maritza for a while. She even came to EXPCon, but I just felt like something was missing because she really wants to focus on Hispanic speaking agents and community. And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish, but she's a great leader, and she, I can, with this timing is perfect because I can connect Orlando with her, which I did already, and we're going to co-sponsor Maritza in, and she gets 2 great partners. Of course, she gets the upline. That's great too, but she gets two things that will align her for her business for growth. So,
Daniel, for a second, I thought it was reflecting that once you get past that first, like tier 1, that the sponsee for the sponsor is not in their tier 1, right? They're tier 2. At first, I was looking at your chart thinking, oh, it's different at every level, but it's just because the levels aren't aligning. The reality is except for that first tier,
yep, you're
they have
shifting
exactly the same value on all the tiers for every.
Yep.
For
So as a primary sponsor, you get tiers 2 through 7. So the person you're recruiting in becomes tiers 2 through 7 of their growth. And then for the co-sponsor, they get 1 through 7.
And
so
then
the company doesn't actually spend more money. It's a brilliant way they did it.
It's very smart because then it doesn't, from the sponsee's point of view, they're aligned with the main sponsor. They go all the way upline.
Correct.
And they get all the way up to their co-sponsor, but they don't get their co-sponsors upline as far as like, right?
Yeah, because there's not enough money to be paying that.
Exactly. No, it's super smart.
Yeah.
It's a win-win-win, really.
Correct. So as a primary sponsor, I get the FLQA credit, right? That FLQA credit. I also get the $400 stock award, right? But as the co-sponsor gets that tier 1 bonus that first year, right? Because they're supporting that locally or they're coaching, whatever they're doing, they get that extra bonus, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, but long term, there's not downside to the sponsor. Long term, both the co-sponsor and the sponsor are getting effectively the same benefits long term, correct?
Yes, long term you get the same benefits, or I think it's better because I get tier 2 money right away,
right,
versus tier 1. I mean, yes, you lose a little bit of a bonus, but if you got like for me, you have like an Avengers team, a superhero that's plugging in.
right.
So for folks that are not strong, I guess, primary sponsors, this is a great bonus because you can plug in other coaches, you can plug in other leaders in. because you know there are situations where you don't even have an upline because maybe your upline, the 3 levels are gone. They're not in EXP anymore. So you're kind of siloed. You're by yourself. You feel like, how can I compete with Brent Gove and all these other people? You can bring Brent Gove in your line.
Right.
You
Exactly.
can bring a Gene Frederick in your line if you wanted to. I mean, you have to figure out what's best for your person.
Around here, getting things done.
One thing I love about it is it helps that sponsee be supported, so they're going to be more successful. They may be able to recruit better, right? And they're going to have greater retention because they
Yeah.
will be more successful. They're served better. They're meeting their needs.
Yeah. I mean,
So then
if
that
you look
also
at, if you look
benefits
at this chart, if
everybody.
Maritza is bringing on Sally and Sally doesn't speak Spanish, so she doesn't need that Hispanic coaching. If Maritza feels like another co-sponsor is needed for Sally, she can get a Tina Call, she can get a Christy Mayshore, she can get another leader that she wants to partner up with as well. So the thing is, with what co-sponsoring does is we're all going to be intertwined together. Maybe the word the real estate word we don't like to use is commingle. We
Right.
get to commingle together. And we're no longer going to be in silos. Everyone's going to be intertwined with each other. That's how I call it. And we're just at the beginning. I mean, we haven't unlocked it yet, but I'm already working on 4 co-sponsor opportunity. And you know, would love to work with the Freedom team and anything on the commercial side I can help, because it's gonna create retention. EXP commercial, we brought a lot of good commercial leaders in. But the issue is those leaders came into a residential group and they're kind of siloed. They didn't understand, they weren't able to connect with other people. So some people leave, right? So this is actually going to help with retention. So just look at it as another tool, another benefit. But at the same time, is you have to be, work with each other and, bring to the table. That's how I look at it. Regardless if there was co-sponsoring, this is an added bonus.
Thank you.
We will discuss co-sponsoring. Anytime someone has a reason to be asking the question, realize this: most of us are good enough to be our prospects or our new enrollees sponsor. Most of us don't need a co-sponsor. If you feel like you want to co-sponsor because it will benefit the prospect, that's the real value. If they're in another market, if they have specialty needs that you can't deliver, then you can have it there. Now, with that said, there's nothing wrong with giving away or giving away that first level to a prospect that it's going to tie in well with the person you're co-sponsoring with them. But don't think at the moment, if you're looking at this, oh, so now I got to figure out, in addition to who to prospect and who to sponsor, who's their co-sponsor. We can figure all that out. You just go out doing the same thing you're doing, and then as you're bringing them in, we will guide you on, whether you want to utilize a co-sponsor or not. The other value, and Daniel didn't talk about this, often when you're talking to someone, especially in another market, but even in your own, they'll say to you, well, I know this other agent at EXP, and now you have the ability to say, that's not a problem. Let's get you excited and we'll share the sponsorship. It's that simple. So
Yeah.
Daniel, we really appreciate you being here today, as always.
Just like Eric said, just do what's best for the agent that you're bringing on, right? But at the same time, you as a sponsoree, why you're attracting, right? You can't use it as like the dollar sign. You got to provide value. They got to bring value together, and you're going to build this organization. So I look forward for y'all's growth. Anything I can help explain, I'm here. Eric, I appreciate the time and everyone being on this call, and for those that are watching the recording, appreciate it, and let's go.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to close out this with many of you have not seen this. We created it a few months ago, so I will share it with you guys. Again, the recording of today, along with that image, I believe I've captured it. I think I can get that uploaded to our Freedom Team workplace feed, so make sure you check there. Don't miss tomorrow, more transactions. And again, I'll be talking about agent attraction individually on Thursday. Let's go ahead and we'll rock this to the break. Hold on. 1 second. Black, 1 second. There we go.
Yeah. You've got a dream, a vision to chase. 6 figures in the making, find your space. But mindset rules what's in your head. Doubts a yuck, believe instead. You're not here to convince or plead. Just find the ones with the open need. You're the flashlight, guide their way. If they don't want it, that's okay. Learn! Define your dream, make it clear. Freedom's calling, can you hear? Step by step, build your team. Agent attraction, live your dream. Commit today, no time to delay. Excitement starts, but commitment stays. Your psyche first, build it strong. Listen to good vibes all day long. Call 5 a day, 1 talk to ignite. Consistency's your friend, your guiding light. Your list is gold, your inventory. Write it down, it tells your story. Learn, define your dream, make it clear. Freedom's calling, can you hear? Step by step, build your team. Agent attraction, live your dream. Define your dream, make it clear. Freedom's calling, can you hear? Step by step, build your team. Agent attraction, live your dream. Commit today, no time to delay. Excitement starts, but commitment stays. Your psyche first, build it strong. Listen to good vibes all day long. Call 5 a day, 1 talk to ignite. Consistency's your friend, your guiding light. Your list is gold, your inventory. Write it down, it tells your story. Define your dream, make it clear. Freedom's calling, can you hear? Step by step, build your team. Agent attraction, live your dream. Define your dream, make it clear. Freedom's calling, can you hear? Step by step, build your team. Agent attraction, live your dream. Up, improve, repeat. Teach the pattern, complete the feat. Freedom's chart, building in 5s. Residual income, changing lives.
And there we go.
Great song.
In the books. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you sticking around. And anybody have a final question for Mr. Eng? If not, again, anybody that's got a commercial agent and you know they're outside of your pay grade as far as understanding, no reason not to recruit them and plug them in with someone just like Daniel in order to... Daniel, how do they get a hold of you? Although they can do it on Workplace for a while, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, Workplace is the best. I check that out pretty often. But I put my information on the chat here.
Thank you.
Welcome to copy that. And if you have any commercial questions and stuff like that, just let me know. I can explain the commercial side. We are at paying $500 a month. We added CoStar. That's a big bonus. A lot of people don't know about, because that was one of the things for the past 4 years we've been negotiating, trying to get CoStar at a discount. So $250 was our platform or tech fee. We added $250 for the CoStar. $250 is very cheap because I was paying $600 by itself. So we get a discount here. So it's great.
Well, again, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for transactions, Wednesday for collaboration, and back to my Q&A for agent attraction on Thursday. Daniel, let's make it a great week. Everybody, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it, guys. Bye.
Thank you.